Yes, let's go, man. We got a new day, new vlog. About to hit a workout. We're gonna stick to probably a lower body split. So it's gonna be squats, lunges, RDLs, Bulgarian split squats, kettlebell swing, stuff like that. And then later we're gonna get into the mental, spiritual portion of breaking open the book called, drum roll, As a Man Thinketh. I'm gonna break that bad boy out. It's so freaking good. Tons of gems to level up your fitness, your business, your mindset, your relationships. I'm very excited to share that with you and just talk out loud, really like I'm talking to myself, and maybe give some advice to my younger self in hopes of wherever you are in your journey to learn some things together. So it'll be fun. But before we get into that, let's hit the workout at the studio today. Oh my God, just stubbed my toe. But that's why we live, baby. That's why we're fit for life. So when the pain comes, because you know it will, we can overcome, okay? Because we're built for it. We're built different. We're built to last. So pain comes and pain goes, but it's happening for us. And sometimes maybe it's just to learn the lesson, like watch where you're walking. That's a novel idea, right? Maybe look at where you're going. Focus on what's in front of you, Brian. Okay, let's lift only a few more days or weeks rather in this studio space. So let's get the most out of it. Got an exciting new chapter at the new studio, and I'll show you guys that here probably in the next few weeks. But yeah, all right, let's talk more action, effort over words. Show up, do the work, take action, and let's get it. All right, baby. Starting off with a little jump rope. Best way, in my opinion, to warm up the body, get a little flow going, get a little rhythm, you know. So much of life is staying in rhythm with God, with yourself, with others, learning the rhythm of life. What better way than to do it every day with a little jump rope? Need to learn a better rhythm, man. Crazy. Get better. Like anything else, it might not be great at first. We'll get better though. One more time. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Ow. Mother Teresa. A little warm up, deadlift set. Keep my chest high, core engaged, lifting with my legs, not my back. And sometimes less is more, you know? Like right now, I got a little knee thing I've been dealing with. It's actually embarrassing. I was doing a handstand, and we were hanging out with some families and kids running around and whatnot. And as I'm in a handstand, I'm making sure I don't fall forward because I have my daughter, 5-10 feet in front of me. And so I eventually come down and my legs go back. And as my legs are going back, my feet hit the ground, I feel this on my knee, and it's my buddy's skull. My buddy Colin reached for a tennis ball, and I freaking came down same time and went, yeah, on my knee. So we were both down for a count for a few seconds, few minutes. I got back up, super tender, but praise God, all good. That's why we lift, injury prevention, metabolic function, confidence, energy. There's so many things, so many reasons why you should lift weights, but one of them is to build muscle. Obviously, this is more of a tendon, bone thing, ligament thing, but I feel more fit, more capable, and more or less injury prone to deal with stuff like that. So I say that to say this is a bit of a lighter set today. We're gonna do 4 or 5 sets of squats, and get this thing back to full health. But I was gonna say less is more. I was gonna say less is more. Sometimes you don't gotta lift the whole gym off its foundation. Sometimes you just gotta show up more consistently. I'm a big believer that a lot of guys, you don't need to lift heavier weights. You just gotta lift weights more often. If you're lifting weights once a week, that's great. But if I read my Bible once a week, expect to grow, I got another thing coming. So showing up in the gym, lifting weights consistently is what matters. Big believer in 4 to 5 times a week is plenty and more than enough for a lot of guys. So yeah, that being said, let's do it. Less is more. Control is better than just freaking going through the motions, flying through it, building strength back. Mind muscle connection is a lot easier when you're going slower. All right, last set here. Staying lightweight, like I said. That's all good, because we're getting the most out of it. Work it back, baby. One thing it might be helpful to remind you and myself is to not judge your workouts by the amount of sweat or the calories you burn. That stuff's great. It's nice to know that maybe. I don't really, either way, it doesn't make a difference for me. The biggest thing in my workouts that I can see that makes the biggest difference, what I'm worried about the most, what I'm focused on the most in my workouts are the muscle tissues. Am I waking up sore? Did I push? Did I feel that burn within the muscle itself? Am I tracking my weights? Am I leveling up those weights? Am I doing more sets or more weight? Am I doing it with less rest? Stuff like that. And we do that, we focus on that with our one-on-one clients. They know how to make any workout harder. They know what to look for, what to focus on. And I just can assure you, if you're here and watching and want a similar physique as mine, then stop worrying about calories burned. Stop worrying about only doing HIIT workouts. Incorporate more weights, incorporate more strength training. Just worry about getting sore, getting stronger, breaking down the muscle tissue, feeling the burn within your workouts, and honestly, strength training. That's the number one focus. Muscle is the motive when it comes to working out for me. Well, RDL action. Feet closer together these days. Oh man, that feels nice. That feels real nice. One of the recurring themes in my life lately has been, where am I looking to for my source? What is my source? Who is my source? What am I looking to as my source? And just for me, if I'm looking to myself, my own power, my own strength, for the sense of energy or focus or the power I need for the day, man, I get so burnt out so quickly, like exhausted. But the truth is, we were never made to be the source. We were never made to be our own source, our own power source. A friend reminded me of that truth. Is like, dude, you're not the source. Like, don't try to be the source. You are simply a channel, a vessel for God to flow through you. And so we ultimately have to stay connected to the source and draw our power from God. Not yourself, Not others, not me, not anybody else, but God, your source. And so I'm reminding myself is that, like Jesus said, I can do nothing. Outside of God, I can do nothing. But with Christ, I can do all things. I can do all things through his power working through me, motivated by love, motivated by the good for humanity, the good for people around me, and the good for myself. So I don't know if you needed to hear that, or maybe it was just me, but stay connected to the source. Don't be the source. Don't plug into yourself. You'll be exhausted. Plug into the source, the power source. God everywhere, God alongside of us, God within us by faith, knowing you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. So believe that, step into that. And for me, it's stepping more into that identity in Christ for sure. So, but I'm getting locked up. That freaking me, man. Of course, the one thing I will never neglect is the shoulder raises. Shoulder raises, shoulder presses. These things are the fastest way to look bigger, look wider, look more defined as a man. You'll fill out your shirts better. You'll get a sense of like that roundedness with your shoulders and that separation with your arm and everything else as you build the shoulder. So always pick some dumbbells up. You can start light. You should start light. I've been going a little bit heavier, but even right there, it's a bit heavy right now. I think slow and controlled is way better. But yeah, that felt nice, lifting heavy and building those freaking Dwights out. Let's go, baby. Let's go. But more importantly, what's better than looking big, looking good on the outside, looking fit, looking the part, anything you want to look like. What's more important is that you are big on the inside. You are growing and expanding internally first, and let that manifest on the outside. You can be shredded, fit, strong, super aesthetic, but if you have a lot of bitterness, hate, envy, jealousy, you're not winning. You're not fit for life. You're fit for you. You're not fit for life, though. Being fit for life is being fit for the good of other people. Being fit for life is being useful, adding value to others around you. So looking fit's one thing. Being fit is a big difference. There's a big difference between looking fit and actually being fit. Being fit benefits everybody around you, including yourself. But looking fit is mainly just for you, mainly just for the validation you get when people say something or comment or give you a compliment, which there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying there is, but I'm saying being fit on the inside, having inner strength, inner peace, inner discipline, that means a whole lot more than just looking the part. So effort over words. The only thing more important than looking a certain way is being that certain way before it's even made manifest on the outside. Yes, and part of being fit for life, healthy and capable, is being fit physically, being fit mentally, and being fit spiritually. And if you haven't caught on, this is a different day. I'm recording this, so it's technically not a day in the life of the same day, but we're here. Beard's a little bit longer, a little bit more grays perhaps, but the point of this last part is growing in the awareness of mental fitness, developing a fit mind, a disciplined mind. For me in my life, and you probably can relate to this, is the biggest thing holding me back from achieving, from growth, from becoming more, is really me. It's really this right here. When I was playing baseball, I was a better athlete than I was my athleticism was better than my mindset. And so I was always capped to the level that this thing was. So if you're here, I'm stoked because we're going to elevate our mindset, elevate our reality by renewing our thoughts and developing a more disciplined mind. So I'm going to break this bad boy out again. As a Man Thinks. If you haven't read it, I highly encourage it. Obviously a thin book, not that many chapters. I believe there's 7. And we're going to start this series of the vlogs with chapter 1. So chapter 1 is thought and character. And his argument is that thought and character are really just the same thing. Like they're one. You know, the health of your character and where it's at is a direct reflection of where your thoughts are and where your thoughts have been and where your thoughts have brought you. So it says a man is literally what he thinks. His character being the complete sum of all his thoughts. I wrote down too, you are what you think. We are what we think. We are what we believe we are. Now it's important to note that just because we believe something to be true, for us, we live as if that is true. So technically speaking, you know, when people have their realities like, hey, this is my truth, like, hey, fair enough, what you believe to be true is your reality. However, there's always a higher reality. And what I believe when I say God, I do believe God's reality, ultimate reality, is what we are called to come into alignment with. And so we are what we believe we are. It's why it's imperative, I say, to see yourself the way God sees you, right? See yourself the way God sees you, because anything less, any distortion, any lesser perspective than that is doing you and everybody around you a disservice. You can never let something inferior define you when you were made by something superior. And in our case, as human beings creating the image of God, by the supreme being, the one who made everything, being itself, God himself. It says, act is the blossom of thoughts. Joy and suffering are its fruits. It's pretty cool to think that plants can't come forth without a seed. So each thought you have, each thought you water, eventually that manifests itself. And so there's never a time where there's a plant or fruit from the plant that just happened to be there. It all started back to a thought, which is why it's imperative to take every thought captive and make it obedient to Christ, as the scripture says. Take every thought, take every emotion, and play it out. Hey, what does this thought say about who I am? And how is it going to affect my life? Is it going to serve me? Or is it going to hurt me? And if it's going to hurt you, if it doesn't serve you, if it's not going to empower you forward, if it's not going to affect you positively and other people around you positively, you have to let that thought go. And you have to stop watering that thought with continual repetition, just nurturing that thought. It says, man is made and unmade by himself. In the armory of thought, he forges the weapons by which he destroys himself. He also fashions the tools with which he builds himself heavenly mansions of joy and strength and peace. Man can find every truth connected with his being if he will dig deep into the mind of his soul. And it ends with this idea of obtaining the knowledge of yourself, the one God made you to be, is understanding, is wisdom and power. And in this direction, as in no other, is the law of absolutes, that he that seeketh finds, and to him that knocketh it shall be open. For only by patience, practice, and ceaseless opportunity can a man enter the door of the temple of knowledge. So the first chapter is really laying the groundwork of this idea that you are created in the image of God. You know, what you think, the words you say, and the actions you take matter. They matter more than you think. And you actually have a lot more in your power and control than you think, because you have control of your thoughts, your words, and your actions. To be clear though, I think it's important to note, you don't have control over all the thoughts in your head. I don't have control over every thought that pops in this old head day to day. But I have the power to choose where I put my focus. We have the power to choose where we put our focus, because where our focus goes, energy flows. You heard that, right? Where our focus goes, energy flows. So if we're focused on the negative, if we're focused on our false identity rooted in fear, shame, or guilt, we're not going to be seeing the fruits that we want in our lives. We're not going to be seeing the fruit that we want to enjoy. Life-giving fruits, strong, powerful fruit of love and life and joy and peace and patience and goodness and all the fruits of the Spirit. So it's really important to understand that as you think, so you are. And as you continue to think, so you remain. This is mental fitness. This is being fit for life, not just physically, but mentally and spiritually. Because how you think, the meaning and association you give things will determine your life. So join me in elevating our thoughts and gaining higher perspective and asking God for wisdom and understanding of ourselves, of God, of others, and of how we can grow in this life. Because after all, we're made to grow. We're not made to stay stagnant. We're not made to feel apathetic. We're not made to become less. We're made to become more of the man or woman that you were made to be. So I'm glad you're here. Thanks for watching. That's my little chapter 1, As a Man Thinks. Stay mentally fit, spiritually fit, and of course physically fit. But that is the vlog for the day. Thank you for watching. Thanks for spending time. If you haven't already, click that subscription or subscribe button. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about these videos. But I'm doing this for me and for you and for my future self, expressing myself genuinely and truly and authentic as I possibly can. So I hope to get better at it and to provide more value to the world, to look back on one day and just to reminisce and to learn and to appreciate. So much love. Keep becoming more you. Stay fit for life. Remember, it's not about you, but you got to take care of you at the same time. So become more you for the people that matter most. All right? Cheers. Peace. Love you.